One word, guys. One word. Yeah, we're talking about Star Wars. So, today I want to... This is a me and Reagan have been heated on. If who is better, Rey or Finn? Now, I do need to say this. There are two reasons I think Rey won. One, Kylo Ren does not know how to do defense. And two, Finn did tire him out. And if you did see, Finn never was seen to use the Force in the whole movie. I think he did pretty good for a non-Force user. But Rey, on the other hand, has the Force. So I don't think it's that bad to say that if Finn had the Force, he might be equally powerful or stronger. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. Kylo Ren studied a basic form of Form 5, which was a form commonly used by Vader, but he did not choose to study a defensive form. Rey just jumped on. She already knew a lot of fighting styles, especially because on Jakku is kind of like Tatooine, because Tatooine was a hostile planet, desert planet, hard to get water. Well, that's basically a close description of Jakku. There's a lot of fighting going on, and she even carries like a whole wooden pole or whatever it's made of, and she was seen fighting those guys trying to get BB-8 from her. She is agile, but Finn knows weapons more than Rey. Finn, as part of the First Order, has been seen using a blaster, but not actually shooting it. He's one in the first area of the movie, but he never actually hurt anyone with it. But he is a good shooter, as we see that he basically mastered shooting in that TIE fighter in less than... he just, once he got in there, he was told how to do this, and he said, this is complicated. But then, once they started flying around and stuff, he's going around shooting them cannons, and almost every hit hits one. He also was able to fend off them homing missiles that the First Order shot off at him. And he was and Rey didn't even fight with the lightsaber in the first place. She didn't want anything to do with it. Finn, on the other hand, was willing to fight because he did not like the First Order. Rey just was a person who wanted her family back. Finn was a person who did dislike the First Order, which he must really be a good person to see through the First Order, because Captain Phasma was very heavily wanting to know every name of every trooper she had under her command. It doesn't matter about Captain Phasma much, but Finn must be must be able to see through things. Rey does have this ability as well, because she was using it to see through Kylo Ren, which is difficult, but we don't even have any proof if Finn has the Force or not. So if he does, he could. He could. I'm not saying he does, I'm saying he could. Besides, Kylo Ren is a very offensive person, and we've really only seen Finn try to be on the offensive on that fight at Maz's castle. He tried to get on the offensive of that stormtrooper, but the stormtrooper, having a heavier weapon and more experience, took him down. But I must say this about Rey. She was never seen to use a force push or kick or anything like that. If she used any abilities, she used this. And Finn had the force, they used the same abilities. Therefore, they're equally powerful. But Rey is just trying to protect people like a Jedi. Finn is doing the same. He wants to protect Rey in the first place. But, of course, a powerful Kylo Ren who had experience for a long time with powerful force pushes, chokes, even getting past just very unwilling and people who don't want their minds read, like Poe Dameron. He might even have the force because he stood out for a long time against Kylo Ren when Kylo Ren was trying to get into his head. He grunted for a while. Poe Dameron may have the force because he does have exquisite shooting abilities in that X-Wing of his. So, for the three main characters of our movie, I think that it really should come down to different categories. Rey is seen using the best ability of the Force because she gets into Kylo's mind when he's trying to get into hers, and she even orders the stormtroopers what to do. Poe Dameron has a few more skills closer to Luke's because if he has the Force, he uses it in a way he probably doesn't know, and he has exquisite shooting. Luke knew there might have been some force in him, but Poe Dameron probably doesn't know anything. We haven't heard anything about that. But Finn, on the other hand, is pretty strong. The only reason he lost is because of Kylo Ren's really good lightsaber and very offensive style. Because Kylo Ren's lightsaber, it having a cracked crystal, he decided to base it off of a ancient Sith design, having some exhaust ports here and here. And when using his lightsaber locks are very powerful. But Rey learned from Finn when Finn was fighting Kylo Ren, because she learned to back away from the thermal exhaust ports because they are very dangerous. That means that Rey probably didn't know it as much as Finn did. But once he saw Finn get burnt by it, he knew what to do to stay away from these exhaust ports. And even Finn didn't know. He was one of the First Order, and he didn't even know how powerful this blade is. So I doubt Rey would have known it already. So I'm going to have to hand the victory in Force usage not force usage, but in smarts to Finn, because he was very smart in his fight. He just didn't know some things. Rey didn't know it either. She had to learn from Finn's mistakes. And if Finn comes back from that big bone to the shoulder and being tossed about in the snow, which an exposed body part in the snow is really bad for your health. If he comes back as happy as ever, he can withstand some blows. So Rey is athletic. We haven't seen very much athletics from Poe very much, but Finn have some, obviously. He knows when to do something, but he isn't as athletic as Rey, who is very good at that stuff. So now it's time to go over to piloting. On piloting, Poe Dameron is probably the best pilot ever, but that's either from training or the Force. Rey has the Force as well. I know that Poe had training, though we don't have proof. But Rey has never flown anything before and just had the Force. Finn, though, has been a very accurate at using a ship's guns very well. He is good at that stuff. He does have that kind of a skill on the ship. So, in this battle of the ship, who's better? We've never seen Poe use a ship's turrets very many times. We've only seen that in the beginning of the movie, where he tries to shoot some stormtroopers from the safety of his ship. But Rey never used that part of the ship. I'm going to have to give this victory to Poe for an advanced training and maybe even usage of the Force. So we need a few more categories. So my next category is who knows what side to fight for and is willing to do it. So we know Rey didn't want any part of it. As she said, I don't want any part of this. So she didn't want to do anything about it. She just wanted to stick with Finn because he was the closest family to her as she's ever had in a very long time. But Poe, he is very loyal to the Resistance and really doesn't want the First Order to win because his parents fought, or at least his mom fought on the Battle of Endor, and he knows that the First Order is the remains of the Galactic Empire, so he doesn't want to do anything. So he knows what to do. Finn, on the other hand, was drafted into the place from both. He never actually had a name until Poe gave him one. He did play a major role, though. Rey was just trying to escape back to Jakku and the whole thing, but the only reason she got caught up in things is because, as one, Kylo Ren captures her and brought her to Star Killer Base, and that's almost it. But Finn, he was willing to fight very much. He just wanted to escape, though. He wanted to escape the First Order, and he wasn't the one to want to fight. I'm going to have to give this one to Poe. So now another category. Our next category is who overall really is best. I mean, I am pretty biased, but I'm just going to talk about things. So who is more lovable and is a little more background? Well, Rey, we do hear some background about her, but her background is nothing compared to Poe's. But Finn's background, his background is being a stormtrooper and not wanting to be. He is the total opposite of what he's been put into. So I'm going to have to say Finn's background is okay. It's kind of like, let's say the clones. The Order 66, the clones were loyal to something else than that out of what they were told to be doing. So they became great warriors. It was like Captain Rex. He was a great warrior already. In the later years in Star Wars Rebels, he was still a great warrior. He hardly downgraded. The only thing he was really missing was a helmet, which we hardly saw. So, I'm going to have to say Finn does have the kind of background like Captain Rex's, because he was the opposite of what he was ordered to do. He did not want to take part in doing what the First Order wanted him to do. So Finn does have a background close to Rex's, and Rex was a great warrior, and Finn is kind of following the path of him. So I'm going to give this one to Finn because Rey, she had the kind of a close background to Anakin, but even worse. But think about if you're drafted into something you don't want to do. You are trained to do it. You're trained to kill. You're trained to do everything that's against what you wanted to do. And Finn being able to stand through that all and come over is an amazing feat. And if there's ever a movie about Finn's life, I need to see it, to see exactly how horrible it was. Poe Dameron, well, he was raised like a normal kid. He was raised by, not that normal of a kid. His mom was a rebel fighter, but still, he was raised normally until he was old enough to come to the resistance. He was raised like a normal kid, but the other two weren't. So Poe's out of the question, not a very good backstory, but Finn, he had a big backstory. It wasn't a nice one. He had to watch villagers that had done nothing die. He had to watch even the ones that trained with him, even though he didn't want to be anything with them, die. He had to witness people from both perspectives die. Rey, on the other hand, only witnessed her parents having to leave. That is not very good of a backstory compared to Finn's. I'm going to have to say Finn takes this one. So everyone's tied up. So we need one more category. So I think my last category will be who actually is good. Who actually will be better than the other. which one will end up being loyal and which ones might cripple? Well, I do see Kylo Ren having a pull to the light and Rey to the dark. Because if you see, he didn't want to kill it. Kylo Ren didn't want to kill his father, but Rey, he was trying to hook Kylo Ren with all she could. All of it. Because Han was like her new father. And Finn like a brother, and she didn't want to lose that. So that's what she did. She attacked with all the hate in her. And Yoda does say fear is the path to the dark side. That was the worst impression ever. And she had fear to lose what was the closest to her. She had fear. It's the path to the dark side. But Kylo Ren, he had love. He had compassion in that scene where he had to choose between his father or Snoke. He didn't want to do what he did. But Rey, she willingly did what she wanted to do, which was what a dark side user would do. But Kylo Ren had trouble executing what he didn't want to do, which was the path to the light side that he was trying to resist. So, if anything can pull Kylo back, is his family. Leia, Luke. Those are the only family he'll ever have. And it's going to be tough to kill all the remaining Jedi when all the remaining Force users are mostly his family. I'm not saying that Leia used the Force, but she has a lightsaber and all that. But she does have some aspects close to using the Force, like feeling what her mom felt. But Rey had very little of that. She is not from the Skywalker lineage, and this is going to be like since I know there's going to be an 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, it could be like a mirror of the prequels and originals. This could be the story of something opposite. Like, let's say the first Order wins this time, but the First Order are being beaten down in the next part, and the good guys winning, which might as well be Kylo Ren in the future. Rey does not have a good-looking future with all the hate and fear and anger that she displayed when fighting Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren didn't really know much to do. So I'm going to have to give who stay with the good guys to either Poe or Finn. And when it comes down to it, Finn is a little less than Poe, but Poe in some cases is less than Finn. They both want what is right. There to be no First Order. So I think that it should be this way. I think it should end up as Finn winning this one. It's not really because I like him that much. It's more because I must say this now. Anakin was a pilot. Finn, his story came from nowhere. Poe's story his story came from a pilot. Then he was just coming downright as an adult to do this. Poe, he's been raised to have these beliefs. But Finn gained these beliefs by himself. He learned what was right and bad from himself. He learned most of the things that gave him a conscience from himself. So I'm going to say Finn is the best in this area because he taught himself everything he knew of what is right and wrong. Poe, his parents taught him, but Finn, he didn't have much of that. Rey didn't have any parents either to teach her, but she did have her master that would give her money for that. And he hardly learned anything from him. And he found no family. She found no comfort. She just wanted to wait for her family. She wanted nothing but her family. She didn't care much about the suffering. She just wanted her family back. So Finn has to win this one, but that doesn't mean he's the victor of all of them. But he's won 3 out of the 7 things here, and I think that Poe, he might not even have the Force. He might just be from a great family lineage of being pilots. His mom was a rebel fighter. Rey has nothing in her that makes her want to be with the Resistance. I mean, maybe even at the end of the 3rd trilogy, she'll be at the dark, and Kylo will be at the light. We just don't know. They both have the upper hand to do what is wrong in their eyes, or right in their eyes, but not but a greater concept to keep alive. Kylo Ren, he wants to be like his grandfather, but what if he learns about what happened at the end of his grandfather's life? That could pull him to the other side. And what if Rey learns that her parents joined the First Order and were not captured? Wouldn't that not make her want to be part of the First Order? These are things that could be major plot twists and very testing of their allegiance. To what side? Finn jumped on his allegiance and is cherishing it. He even lied to Rey that he was part of the Resistance because he probably wanted to be, but was as knowing of what the First Order can do because he was the First Order. So Finn would probably win in a battle that included all of this, though that's only my opinion. Someone else might be better, but still, we just have to conclude this. So, sorry for keeping you for such a long time. I'm going to have to say bye. I hope no one hates me for this. I mean, Rey is strong, but what is she strong in? The light or the dark? And Kylo Ren is strong too, but what is he strong in? Is he going to be the Rey in the last trilogy? Is he going to be the good guy, and is Rey going to be the bad? Is it going to be like that turn of events seen at the junction between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope? Is it going to be like that? I have no idea, but it could be. I could be totally wrong. Rey might be the best. Finn might be the best, or Pope might be the best. We don't even know. So we're just going to have to see who's better in future episodes. So please don't give me any hate comments. This is only what I think. And don't give me any hate comments for me being wrong because of future episodes of Star Wars. Bye! As Stampy would say.